What have you noticed that has changed over the years? You've been at this a good long time. What used to work and doesn't work now, or works didn't work and
So
now
the
works?
thing that no longer works for me has been making a book perma-free, which
Hmm.
is where you would have like a series of four books and you would set the first book to be permanently free on like Barnes and Noble and Kobo and Apple. And Amazon would price match that, and the book would be free on Amazon too. And then there are sites like BookBub and Free Booksy, Fussy Librarian that you can advertise on their newsletter list where people are looking for these free and deeply discounted books.
Hmm.
And like a BookBub ad for a perma-free book on Amazon, I've had instances where I've given away close to 50,000 books off of an ad. And if just a small fraction of people read that first book for free, then go on and pay for the second, third, and fourth book in the series, you're going to be, many times return on your BookBub
Hmm.
ad. But the last time I attempted to do this, Amazon would price match the book for about 3 days, and then immediately, and then without any warning, they would change the book back to full price, even while it was still free on other sites.
Hmm.
And I would call their customer service, and they would just have this script they read where it's like, well, Amazon, reserves the right to set the book price the books however they wish,
Hmm.
and we will investigate it. And sometimes, 2 or 3 days later, the book is free again. But the last time I did this, I booked three newsletter ads, and the day before the first one was going to run, the book went back to full price after having been free for a week.
Hmm.
And so I wound up having to cancel that ad. It went free. I got customer service to get it free again, and the next day, the second ad went live, and it was a good ad. I got about 3,000 downloads from it. But if the day before, if that ad had run, then the book would have started that day already at the top of the Epic Fantasy free charts,
Hmm.
and the boost from the second day would have pushed it like into the top 100 overall
Hmm.
on Amazon free downloads, and it would have snowballed, and I probably could have wound up getting two or three times the downloads I did by just having that ad go live for that one day.
Hmm.
And then 2 days later, I had a third ad set to run, and the morning of that ad, Amazon changed the price back again, and it was too late to cancel. So I just wound up losing my money on that one.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
very
Okay.
frustrating. And for if this ever happened with a BookBub ad,
Hmm.
a BookBub ad is several hundred dollars to book. Most of the other services I use, are 25, 30, $40.
Hmm.
But the last BookBub ad I ran was over $600.
Hmm.
So not being able to really plan that securely anymore is definitely a frightening factor, feeling like it's out of my control with Amazon.
Hmm. Plus, BookBub is also very demanding, so you might have soured you with them, so to speak, permanently.
Well, fortunately, BookBub was not involved in this fiasco. This one, I was using three other services: Fussy Librarian,
Hmm.
Book Raid, maybe,
Okay.
and Free Booksy. There's a site called Book Raid and a site called Book Riot, and I get them confused if I'm not actually on their site.
Okay. Okay.
And so I was going to use these smaller sites to boost this one because I actually didn't have enough reviews on this book to have any hope of getting a BookBub ad. Unless you have, I would say, 100 reviews these days, I don't think there's much point in pursuing BookBub.
Okay.
I've got a book that I desperately wanted to take free for one of my dragon novels,
Hmm.
and it had It has about 60 reviews, which isn't terrible, but I submitted that ad to them, probably 2 dozen times, and they've never taken it. And I really think that it's just because it's not enough. The ads I do get from BookBub are on books that have close to 200 reviews minimum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard they're very, very selective. Yeah.
Yeah, I think now, quote unquote, real publishers use them. And so, they were really relying on indie authors to drive their business, but I think now they can get larger publishers throwing money at them, and I've seen diminishing returns every time that I've used them, because now I think I'm competing with bigger name authors, and some people might just be sitting around for that. And then the last thing, I had stopped using the perma-free strategy for a few years anyway, because I have some of my books where I've where I've had 100,000 copies of the book downloaded over the years. But does that mean I've had 100,000 readers, or do people just instinctively grab the books when they're free and load up their Kindles and then never read them?
Yeah.
It's certainly not even 10% of readers that go on to buy the. Well, I'd say 10% is an achievable goal, but I don't think that you're never going to get 25 or 50% of people going on and reading it. And I don't think it's because my book is so bad that they're not willing to spend money to read a second book. I think that if you get the book for free, you lack motivation to ever even open up and start reading it. You've just grabbed it just on a whim. And then if you haven't paid money for it, if you read 3 pages in and I've failed to grab you for some reason, then it's much easier to put down a free book and move on. And the people who are downloading these free books probably have, thousands of titles to choose from. And so it's a very competitive game, but it's, if not for the pandemic and losing my in-person live sale revenue, I wouldn't even have gone back to try it again.